Hey parents, it's JP again. This is volume 6 of our Becoming a Young Man of God series, and I just wanted to give you guys a little heads up of what we talked about this last Wednesday. We were talking about girls, and for the guys, they kind of feel like it's decoding an alien species, and that's the way that they view girls in a lot of ways, a lot of things that they don't understand. And so we wanted to go over just some things that were really vital to them to know. One of the things being, how did Jesus interact with women in the Bible? Whether it was an adulterous woman, or whether it was the woman who was bleeding, or just the times where he was making contact with women. In his culture, women were looked at in some ways as second-class citizens, and for Jesus to interact the way he did was really countercultural. And so we did a little bit of a study on that, and just kind of painted the picture as to how we should see girls and women as image bearers of God, and the fact that they are created in his image, and that they are his daughters, they're his children, and we should treat them as such and with respect. And we talked about how a lot of girls are not treated with respect, whether it be by guys in junior high or in high school. We talked about why that might be. And then we explored that a little bit more when it came to dating. Now, let me say something about dating. I know that a lot of junior high students are not dating, and I think that's good. And in fact, a lot of parents don't even encourage that, and I also think that's great. But it doesn't change the fact that they're asking questions about it, that they have friends who are doing it, and they want to know what that might look like for them. And so we didn't really cover that as in depth as we will, but I wanted to just say this, that this was more of an intro to that, because we wanted to first talk about girls, how we should treat them. When I handed out this book on, it was like 99 Thoughts on Girls for Guys' Eyes Only, it's written by a female author, they loved that. Melanie Carter went through the book. She made some little notes for me. She wanted to talk about how some things in the book are actually more generalizations than they are gender-based. And so let the guys look at that, and we went through and we marked those things together. I told them to be careful about making gross generalizations about girls when really, for instance, it says all girls are planners. Well, that might not be true. That could be a personality deal. So, but they loved that book. In fact, some of them even wanted to get more copies of that so they could give it to their friends. So that was a fantastic thing to give them. The other thing that I want you guys to look at, if you don't mind, is over in the right where you see the questions. You will also, it's super windy out here, you'll see the questions that we went over. You'll also see a link to a YouTube video, and it's by this guy named Mark Driscoll. He's a pastor of a church in Seattle. Mark has said some somewhat controversial things in the past, but he's also made some really great points. And he says something really interesting about dating. And his viewpoint might be looked at as a little bit strict or maybe too conservative. Whatever your feelings are on his view, it's undeniable that the points that he is making are really valuable to go over with your guys, with your sons. And so, like I said, wherever you might land on dating, or when someone is ready to date, that's going to be up to you. But listen to the heart of what he's saying, and some of the examples that he brings up, or scenarios, and actually have a chance, hopefully, to go over those with your sons. And maybe it's now, or maybe it's in a year or so, but just to have that to think about. They saw this video because they were asking all these questions, so I showed it to them, and then it actually spurred on more conversation, and they wanted to digest that a little bit more. Got a little quiet when it was over because they were really thinking, which was great. So I know that anytime junior high guys are quiet, it means that they're either asleep or they're thinking about something. So like I said, go over that with your sons if you can. Also, the devotional material, the 10-minute moments, it's in now. If you would like me to give that to you, I would be happy to give that to you. And I think that's all for now.